Well, the artists, like all of the like a ton of the popular artists that were like had to cancel their tours and stuff like that. I mean, let's face it, we're all musicians because we love music. And they just want to play for people, so they were playing on Facebook Live and stuff like that. And uh, I would follow their shows and said, I'm following this person who set a great example, so we should all just come out, celebrate some music, give ourselves some entertainment, and help ourselves through this isolation.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Abuse and Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. And today, welcome a special guest, another one actually out of Colorado. It's a boy, Nick, aka Nick Phoenix. How you doing today, brother?
Never better. How are you doing, Brian?
Not too bad. Actually, we got to it a little late tonight, but it's all good here too. I guess, which part of Colorado are you hailing from?
Northern Colorado, Fort Collins, the Tri-City area. I'm like 45 minutes from Cheyenne, Wyoming, 45 minutes from Denver.
Actually, I interviewed a friend of mine actually out of Colorado who's in the Denver metro area. John Asgard Erickson is his, actually, Asgard is his nickname, but John Erickson, or
No kidding.
Joseph
He's out
Erickson.
of Denver.
Joseph Erickson. Sorry. Keep saying it's John. Damn it. Okay. Joseph Erickson. There you
I
go.
may need to hit him up one of these days. I mean, he is in striking distance.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, he keeps himself busy there too. So actually, I'll give you a Instagram link afterwards or two. But outside of that, I guess what you been up to in your little group, Phoenix Falling?
Well, I most recently just finished a collaboration with Sonia Hutchinson of Crow Silver, Blue Unicorn, a YouTube artist, and Hobbs, also a YouTube artist. That's going to come out on the 8th on Friday. That's tomorrow. Look out. We're doing a cover of Lord Huron's The Night We Met.
That's pretty cool. And I guess, did you do some shows recently? I think when I was talking to you, I think you did a show last night.
Yeah, so I have a show called The Underground Signal. It's a radio show on 101.5 FM, the WLCB. And that's out of Slade's Corner, Wisconsin.
I was going to say, you want to talk about that real quick? Because I guess, was this something you recently started getting into in terms of radio?
So we're actually coming up on the 1 year anniversary. Basically, how it started, I was working with a buddy, and he's like, "Hey, do you know a musician?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm a musician." And he's like, "Send me music." So I did, and I sent him "Fu Teddy," and he's like, "Dude, I really dug the song." Now, when you have one ready for radio play, send that to me. I'm like, "Hey, you got it." So I did, and he sent it to his buddy, Paul J. out of the WLCB, and he played my song on the radio. And he's like, "Hey, that was a great song. Like when you get another song, do it again." And so I did. And then I did it again. And then he's like, "Hey, we want to do a feature on Phoenix Fallen because what you're doing is really cool." And I'm like, "Right on, man." So I produced him a segment, a 28-minute segment. And he's like, "Do you want to just like do this every month?" And I'm like, "Well, sure, I'd be happy to." And uh, in that uh, and that happened last June, where I got to introduce myself, introduce him to a couple of friends. The theme of that was independent musicians can put on a great show, and we're here to prove it. And I had Tension Splash and Atlas Slip on with me, and so the June episode coming up this year, I'm doing the same thing that was offered to me. I'm Tension Splash. We're doing a feature on you. We would love you to take the helm, produce a segment, and introduce us to a couple of your friends. Just throw on a great show. Atlas Slip, they're coming too. So that's the Underground Signal. It has grown to an hour this year and runs the first Sunday of every month.
That's good to hear. I guess when it comes to looking for artists, are you taking a sort of proactive approach, or are you kind of put something out there and hope someone gets that fishing line, to say the least? Is that sort of way?
Well, there's a balance to it. I do my best to like have my pulse on the community. And that's a quick little shout out to Frank Turzo and the Community Pulse on YouTube. Uh, there's artists all over the world just trying to get their music out there. And so all I have to do, and that's really easy. Anybody can do it. You at home watching this, you can do it. Listen to any music. Listen to our music. And that's what I've been doing. So I've been doing a little bit of, hey, do you want to be on the radio? And a lot of people have been sending me emails saying, hey, we want to be on the radio, which you can send an email to theundergroundsignal@gmail.com.
All right, sounds good. So I guess do you just only do one episode a month? Is that how you go?
Just one a month. I'm doing my best to grow organically as much as possible. Uh, that 30 minutes was really a blessing in disguise. Who knew the independent community was randomly going to get 30 minutes of airtime? And after Christmas, our Christmas present was an hour of indie music every month, and I'd like to keep building on that as time goes on.
All right. In that case, we should you there, Nick. Keep doing what you're doing there, mate. So I guess let's
That
go
was a
jump
good
more.
salute, Brian. Were you in the military?
Actually, my grandfather was, and when I used to play football, there was an older gentleman there who actually did serve in the military. I don't want to say Marines, but I feel like it probably was.
Because
I
right,
can't
that
remember.
that that almost looked like a Navy salute to me. Yeah, good job, brother.
I mean, is there a difference? I always thought they were mostly the same like this.
Each branch actually has their own method of saluting. So you can usually tell what branch a person is in by the way they salute. All I know, I was in the Navy, so they taught me to salute like this.
Unfortunately, that's contradictory because my grandfather was in the Army. So
I believe they salute like that. Yeah,
okay, there we
like
go.
that, right there.
But nonetheless, I guess thank you for your service first off. But I guess I guess I'll tie in with the history here in just a little bit. But we'll start with the introduction here. First off, Nick, welcome to my podcast. And the way it's going to work is as I ask you some questions, get to know you more both as the musician, but also as the individual as well here too. So, you ready?
I was born ready. I actually threw out the questions, so we're going to be organic today. So come at me, bro.
In this case, let's hope it's not as tense as a job interview, but we'll see how it goes. So, all right.
All right.
But with every backstory, we have to start with yours in this case. So, I guess tell the audience about yourself. Who are you? And I guess this was the tie with the Navy here too, about how you joined the Navy.
Sure. I'm actually going to keep it mostly music focused. Like my music pursuits started when I was a wee little lad. My mom taught me how to read sheet music. She would pen out what the notes were, and I actually had a key for piano, so I could like figure out the notes. So I think I was maybe 10 when I started learning how to read sheet music and start playing piano for myself. That's right. That's exactly how I played back then. That further grew on as I got into high school. I got more involved with choirs, and I was in the pep band playing bass drum, and I started writing music maybe junior high, but I actually started doing guitar and playing for people. So I started performing my own original music back when I was like 16, 17 years old at school and busking on the streets because I'm a classic guy. So that's the background of Phoenix Fallings music right there.
I guess, have you lived in Colorado your whole life or have you kind of jumped around?
Born and raised, though I've traveled all around the place at this point. I've been to a great many of the states, guitar in hand. I've traveled overseas. That's where the Navy came in. So I got a chance to actually busk in front of train stations in Japan, which was an experience, I tell you what.
Actually, if you know about Asphalt Jungle, he was also in the Navy there too. So it's also
Ooh,
you two.
yeah, brother.
So yeah, actually, you two should have gotten together there too. You could have been the buskin midshipman or something if we wanted to say something like that.
No, absolutely. And that release that's coming out tomorrow is with a fellow at Blue Unicorn. He's based out of Loveland, Colorado. So we might actually like, let's get something going. Let's get together. Let's jam. Let's get something going. Let's play some music and have some fun.
To make it come in with a ship into the dock right there too, with some music playing. Be like,
Nice.
we're coming to your town. So yeah. All right. All right. But nonetheless, once again,
Appreciate you. No, that's British.
that's
Not
British.
British.
That is funny though. It's like, do it that way. How about that? Okay. But nonetheless, thank you for your service today, mate, especially as we come up on Memorial Day here pretty soon.
Much
So.
appreciated.
All right. So I guess go into the history of Fenix falling. So I guess, did you jump around in various bands before settling on this?
So what happened was, so back in high school, I started learning how the whole process works because I had a karaoke cassette, like dual cassette, like it was fancy. Uh, and I would record over itself. So I got back from the Navy. And around 2007, I discovered Cakewalk, where I'm like, I can record at home. I can actually do this. So I started recording music and I released a MySpace demo of Scream Out, Open Your Eyes, and Lose Control. And a promoter like heard this on MySpace and he's like, I want to meet you for lunch. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I met this dude for lunch and he's like, prove to me you can sing like that. So I embarrassed him in that restaurant. And he's like, all right, do you have a band? And I'm like, no, it's just me. But like, when's the show? And he's like, we want to do a show in July. And I'm like, that's like 8 months out. Give me 6 weeks. I'll be good to go. And so I went from that meeting. I got a drummer, I got a bassist, got a guitarist, and we started hitting open mic nights and practicing, getting the cobwebs out. And then we hit the new year, and MySpace reset, and we lost everything. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
band continued playing. We put all that work in, so we actually made our home at the Cork and traveled around like Denver on up northern Colorado playing music for people. The coolest thing about it, Uncle Nasty of our station, KBPI, Rocks the Rockies, actually would announce our shows on air every time we had a show. So mad respect. Thank you, KBPI, for doing that for us back in the day.
Uncle Nasty. Actually, it's kind of that catchy name there too. But
Isn't that catchy?
I mean, everyone finds some way to find a catchy name with Uncle as like the first one.
That's right, except for me. I'm sticking with Phoenix Falling. No Uncle Phoenix here.
At least not yet. So,
all in good time.
Somewhere at the point. So, all right. So it seemed like after the MySpace crash, was there kind of like a little bit of a, shall we say, hibernation or maybe some sort of hiatus or something like that?
But like, how disappointing was that? Where, so the show didn't happen. So not only did it affect me, so this show, it was supposed to be us opening for the Flowbots, who was opening for 303, who was opening for Sublime. And that entire show was taken out by the MySpace crash. Instead, we didn't go into hibernation. We put in all that work. We were playing. We played at Avogadro's Number in Fort Collins, had a great turnout, and we just started playing music for folks and kept on playing for a couple years until the thing that made us go on hiatus. So we fast forward a couple years, and this promoter at the Cork was like, "Hey, I'm putting on a show in Wyoming called Metal Fest. It's a camping festival, and we want Phoenix Falling to be the VIP after party music for the Misfits."
So that's definitely quite a jump, especially at a metal fest.
It was such a jump that my drummer and guitarist at the time said, "Whoa, this is getting too serious for us. We just wanted to like tell our kids someday we were in a band, so we're out." And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have to replace you. And so I got together with Alex Scott and Chris Aljo, who were absolute like prodigies, and we started hitting the practice circuit. And as we got closer to the show, Metal Fest was canceled because the promoter forgot to get the permits, the campfire permits, and the alcohol permits, so that he just canceled the show, which was supposed to be amazing. Anthrax was one of the big headliners. Misfits was another. I forgot who the third one is. I apologize so much for forgetting, but
It's like, no, that whole deal. Cue the meme right there too. So
no, absolutely. And at that point, the band formation, we completed all of our remaining commitments that we had playing for venues like Denver through Fort Collins, and I decided to go back to school. The band just kind of fizzled at that point because that was a blow to my heart. The uh, the show that got canceled getting us started, and the show that got canceled that kind of finished me off on that one. I was just really disheartened from that.
yeah, no, I feel bad there, mate. So I know we did the very salutes earlier, but is there one particularly for this? So
Well, I wanted to do it to that guy, that promoter that forgot to get the permits. I want to do that. No, so not yeah, that.
I just want to
So,
feel
so if he's
like
watching,
stupid.
that's for you, buddy. That's
I
for
should
you.
I should know it's like stupid, and then you just go. I don't do the Three Stooges slap afterwards. So uh, so so you did go back to school right there, and has your band always been Phoenix Falling, or did you kind of jump around with the name before settling on this?
It's always been Phoenix Falling. So I was a member of the Society for Creative Anachronism. That's right. I like to fence, dress up all historical like, and stab people in the face. Uh, so I adopted the name Nick Phoenix from that, and then Phoenix Falling uh, just was what I stuck with. I'm like, that just sounds right. So the Phoenix is actually the historical version of Phoenix. I traced it all the way back to Ellis Island, and that's the original Irish spelling right there.
That's clever, as well as also the bird Phoenix, as we also represent on the hat right there too.
Caca.
Caca, I have a wallet. Caca. So
Caca. Mm.
love you, honey. That's what he wants to say. So,
She says your love too.
okay. Actually, how long have you guys been together?
Well, that is a long and complicated story, just like music. We met years ago back in high school, and here we are. And there's been a lot of like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff along the way.
Drama.
Oh,
So,
no, anti-drama.
okay.
We're like, okay, we identify drama, so we're like, boop, out. So
You made it sound like it at first, so that's why you made it sound like okay. It's all good. All right.
1, 2, 3, not it, not my drama.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Congratulations, they're made nonetheless.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Was COVID kind of maybe a little bit of a way to get back into Phoenix Falling? Because I wasn't sure, like after school, if you tried to find some more bandmates to quote unquote try again.
Well, let me tell you about school real quick. So I went. I wanted to do composition orchestration, and I started getting all of my prerequisites out of the way. Started getting into music classes, and I finished up that year. I While I was playing grand piano, a director actually was like, "Hey, can you play that again?" I'm like, "Sure." And I did the thing on the grand piano, and he's like, "How would you like to come play at the Lincoln Center? That's our big theater here." And I'm like, "Well, I'd love to. That's kind of a dream. Well, why don't you come and orchestrate one of my plays?" And I'm like, "Sold. Where do I sign up?" So I completed the first year of school, ended up about $10,000 in debt. Uh, I went through, we did the production of Dead Man's Cell Phone, which was fantastic. I completely originally orchestrated the entire thing myself, and we sold out every single night for 2 weeks. We finished that. So I was $10,000 in debt. He handed me a check for $50. And I took a really hard look at my collegiate career as a musician at that point, and thought that probably music wasn't the best avenue to invest in.
After saying that, I would agree. Yeah. So
So we're going to fast forward to me having a day job while I still continue like busking just because I love to play for people. Plus that we have this whole pianos about town thing. So I would set up a speaker with a background recording and I'd jam out on pianos around town. Uh, but I kept a day job all the way up until COVID, which that sent us all home. And my girlfriend at the time ended up drinking herself into multiple system organ failure. I came home and found her like on the ground. Uh, we had paramedics come out. She was very anti-hospital, so we were able to convince her to head to the hospital to actually get some care. Uh, so while I had a lot of time on my hands, yeah, I was playing music online. I was trying to follow some of the other artists' examples, just trying to make life better a little bit for everybody. But I went through that whole experience, and music was really the last thing on my mind, though a song did come out of that one, which will be released later this year. Quarantapathy.
I'm sorry to hear that they're made. I guess outside of that, like how bad was COVID for you, also on a personal level? And I don't think you really do much, too much music wise. I guess you really couldn't busk or do anything like that. So I guess what else were you doing during COVID is probably the question I should be asking.
Well, the artists, like all of the, like a ton of the popular artists that were like had to cancel their tours and stuff like that. I mean, let's face it, we're all musicians because we love music. And they just want to play for people. So they were playing on Facebook Live and stuff like that. And uh, I would follow their shows and said, I'm following this person who set a great example. So we should all just come out, celebrate some music, give ourselves some entertainment, and help ourselves through this isolation.
That's very good. So I guess you and the family still doing okay. I guess I wasn't sure. I know a lot of people kind of mentioned in interviews how bad COVID had rocked them too. So y'all doing okay?
Yeah, so we didn't end up taking any hits. We just went through that traumatic experience. Well, and for me, that was kind of ground zero, but we all made it through. Um, uh, so this too shall pass. Yep, it passed.
As the saying goes. So good to see you and the family doing well there, Nick. Good to have you along here too for the ride and what you do in the indie community as well.
Appreciate
So,
it.
but still kind of sticking on that too. I never really been out to Colorado to be honest, but I guess Fort Collins. How's it in terms of is it like a town, city, and I guess how's the music scene in that neck of the woods since COVID?
So Colorado is kind of a underground hub. Like you wouldn't expect it, but there's music and art everywhere. So Fort Collins itself, it's a city, home of Colorado State University, so it's a college town. Uh, but we have a booming artistic industry here. The piano's about town. Actual painters are commissioned to paint these pianos. I go out and play them. Uh, a lot of acts, surprisingly, like do come out of Colorado, like the Fray. Everybody knows the Fray. Um, Tickle Me Pink was huge in the UK. They came out of my hometown of Fort Collins, but like 303 Flowbots, like there's a ton of bands that originate from Colorado that you probably know of them, but you didn't realize that they were from Colorado. So Colorado is actually a pretty booming hub for music.
So I do tell, especially the way Joe kind of described it too, how Denver normally is. It's like the nine realms of Asgard in that case. So
It really is, though. 100%.
I
Welcome to
mean,
Asgard. Welcome to Denver.
I mean, you go from spring to like a summer real quick, and that's like a summer drought, winter again. So
Okay, now you're starting to talk about weather. That is a completely different like ball of wax. So I like to split my time. I like to snowbird. I was born here, man. I'm tired of the snow, so I tried to escape this year. So I went down in January, and I'm like, all right, winter is coming, and I found myself in Venice, Florida, hanging out with my dad who lives there. Got a chance to meet Jobu. Storm Kingdom lives out there as well. Ataraxia Music's out there. Uh, Celt Stash, I believe, is also out there too. But it was wonderful to go out and visit everybody in Florida. For those I didn't get a chance to see, I will catch you on the next go around. But like I said, I was escaping the snow, and I came back in April, and we just hit May, just in time for the one snow in Colorado. Woo!
what do you know? This is one of those things. This just happens. Apparently, in my presence, anytime something bad wants to happen, it happens right here for some reason.
No, right. That's
It's one of
right.
those things.
So if you come to Colorado, you got to be prepared. So I have a pair of shorts. I got a winter coat. I'm ready for all seasons, always in Colorado.
Yep. All right. But nonetheless, it is good to see the music scene's doing well out there in Colorado. So keep going strong, and congratulations to the bands we had mentioned there with the Fray, Tickle Me Pink, and all those other ones there too. So, all right. So I guess I know we got up to a hard topic there, but let's jump into the fun topic of gear. So I guess what do you got that you use for Phoenix Falling? And I guess if you want to also share what you use in terms of recording as well as also what you use for your radio, go ahead.
Oh, what do I use? So it's actually the same setup that I'm talking with you on right now. Uh, so I'm sending everything through Logic. I I have a Apollo Twin. Uh, that's my volume control. Uh, I pretty much just I direct in and record direct in. Ooh, oh God, why I'm getting old. Um, I have this is my foot pedal. It's an RP 150. It is not quite as old as I am, but I love this thing. And it was cheap. It was like $100 way back in the day. Um, it's a Shure 255 microphone. Um, I think that pretty much sets it up. For the fun stuff, I play an Ibanez acoustic guitar and an Ibanez electric guitar. Uh, I'm sure that they have names, and I'm sure they're good names, but I don't care. It's a guitar to me, so I play the guitar. Uh, I have a Ibanez bass as well. Um, well, but I'm bummed. That's it. Pretty simple.
Yeah. Actually, I think one of the things I checked out when I was on Spotify a little bit earlier, I guess, when I was checking out the little bio info and everything, I mentioned about Brooks Ferris. I guess he also does drums. I guess I fill the audience in about Brooks. Is he a permanent member or just helps out?
He was just helping out last year. I talked to him behind the scenes and pulled him in as a session drummer. I didn't have to give him credit, but let's face it, he did such a good job on tracks like Fallout, Lose Control. He deserved credit. You may know, so his name was, proudly listed. That was my session musician. Totally proud to have him on board for those.
In which case, we salute Brian for his, or Brooks also for his help right there too.
We salute Brooks out of
Brooks, yeah.
Washington.
That's what I
Thank
meant
you
to say.
very much, buddy, for everything that you did. Phenomenal work.
Yeah, I accidentally said Brian, so sorry. Brooks. There we go. Okay.
Who knows, Brian? We may be collaborating before too long ourselves, right? Yeah,
I got rubbed in.
You're a musician, aren't you?
I do drums, yeah. I also done vocals for some of my music projects I've done with Demiurge and Nocturnal Monarch. So,
well, I may have to send you some stuff along the way. So hey, we will talk in the background, but to everyone out there that's listening, stay tuned. There could be a new collaboration on the horizon.
I mean, everyone's trying to sign me up for something here too, at least for something in terms of session work or anything like that. So, got to
Hey, why
see.
not? It's fun, right?
Well, it's a little tougher for me with doing the main job. And then on some nights, I help out a local family joint, which is covering the gas bill at this point, since we know that's kind of turned out recently.
Heard.
So,
100%. I travel a lot, and that's really hammering on me right now.
is it like traveling work wise, or I guess where
Yeah,
you travel to?
it's work. I do have to keep a professional separation because it's a very conservative industry. And my very first song release was "F.U. Teddy." I'm sure you can understand why I tend to keep those worlds separate. I like my job. I'd like to keep it, everybody. Thank you.
I guess go ahead and talk about that too, because that was your first single, right? And I guess what was that all about? Because a little bad childhood drama with a teddy bear or something.
No, so I met this guy in Old Town Fort Collins. My girlfriend at the time was like, "You have to meet this guy," and I'm like, "All right." And I met Teddy, who is a real person. So this is a literal song. He had given his girlfriend a teddy bear for Valentine's Day. They got into an argument, and she hucked it into a bonfire and said, "Fuck you, Teddy." Oh, I'm sorry about the language. Uh, Navy, it
Keep going.
happens.
I
Are
said,
you
keep
ready to
going.
march?
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, that's all right. We got
But
First
that
Amendment
was
rights.
a real life moment that actually happened, and I'm like, that is horrible. Can I use it? And he said, sure. And the trade off is he needed some mechanical sounds. So I have some happening in that song for Teddy. And Teddy, thank you for letting me use your story. And so that's interwoven with some things that I was going through in my life at the time, interwoven with his story.
So we could say almost a therapy session in a way. So
Music is a great source of therapy. You got some aggression you need it out, jam it out.
that's for sure. And some of the songs I did check out, which one of the ones you mentioned was "You May Know," "Open Your Eyes," and "Fallout." I guess for each one of these songs, this guy delves into the lyrics right here. I guess is there a particular story behind each one, or is it just kind of whatever came to mind?
There are stories within stories. So the way I've packaged it together creates its own album story. But like the story You May Know. So You May Know in Japanese is a feminine female name for dream girl. In hindsight, sounds kind of stripper like, but uh, that is the actual translation. And my ex-wife accused me of running away by doing the whole music thing. And I said, I'm not running. And you could be my dream girl if you just believed. And that is the heart and soul of You May Know.
I would say that one seems to be the one doing the most streams right now, at least on Spotify. So I guess any one of the other songs that kind of you felt the most pride in, I guess. Can you talk about those real quick? Like maybe Open Your Eyes or anything?
Well, I've got pride in all of them. Open Your Eyes. I think it's an absolutely gorgeous piece of music. I fused some soft rock, some hard rock, and some alternative metal into the progressions of this song. What this song is about, this is the song that I wrote to the Statue of Liberty for the vacation that I felt that she had been taken while the government was doing private cabinets going through what they called trivial liberties. And so that was my my letter to the Statue of Liberty, which I did bring my guitar to New York to play to the Statue of Liberty. I wanted that to come full circle. And I wrote that right when I was getting out of the Navy back in 2004. So that was written maybe 2005, 2006.
Uh, I guess what did you do in the Navy? I guess were you? I don't think you were anything in combat, but I guess were you mechanic or something?
I was just a computer guy, nothing exciting.
A computer geek.
Yep.
Okay, that's all pretty cool. I guess did you work on ships? Because it did sound like you did travel the world a little
I
bit.
did. I was on the USS Cushing, and I got to see all around the Pacific. One of the cool things, so I'm actually wearing this stuff. This is my computer guy stuff, and this was a qualification that shows that I'm capable of doing any base level job on a ship, like all of them.
I didn't
So I have
mention
some
Japan
pride in that.
earlier. I didn't mention Japan earlier. I guess what were you doing over there? You close to Tokyo?
So Yokosuka, Japan, is where the USS Cushing was stationed. I met it after it changed ports from Honolulu, Hawaii to Yokosuka, Japan, and met the ship in Japan. So I spent 6 years in Japan, and that was a really cool experience.
Yeah, Japan looks pretty cool, even though I think they got a little too techy nowadays. So that's what you
You
see
know,
with
it
Tokyo.
was
Yeah,
always the hub for technology, though. They have a district there called Akihabara, which was like the cutting edge technology, like being peddled right there on the streets. Uh, Completely amazing. They have another uh, area of Tokyo called Odaiba. It's nicknamed the Artist Palette because they gave architects and artists free reign to build what they wanted. So you take this monorail out to this little island. That's where the Sony headquarters are. Uh, they have arcades there, music, like it's basically an entire mall of the future. And that was one of my favorite places in Japan.
sounds good. Have to get out there at some point. So
It's definitely
okay.
worth the trip.
Oh yeah,
Eat the
but I think
food
it's
there. The food is out of this world. You think you've had ramen? You haven't had ramen.
you have not had ramen until it's authentic ramen from Japan. So yeah,
100%. It'll change your life.
I think the problem is just flying over there. I think you have to spend 2 days on the plane, which I mean we gotta
Okay.
get a stretch every now and again. So yeah,
So flying back and forth, it's about a 16-hour trip, which means that when I came back from Japan, I was stepping off the plane at the same moment that I was stepping on the plane.
it was like we went back in time or something like that. Yeah,
That's right. So because it took 16 hours of travel and it was a 16-hour time difference, I would get on the plane at 5 p.m. and I'd get off the plane at 5 p.m. the same day.
yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so I guess the next question here could probably deal with challenges because it seems like you're kind of riding solo at this point. So I guess these days, what do you think you're facing in terms of challenges? More of like marketing, maybe a little finance?
I think the industry has changed. I think the biggest challenge that I've encountered is I have to look at everything differently now. I believe, and I strongly believe, what we knew as gatekeepers are gone. They are out of here. They have closed their doors and they are not like pipelining people like they were anymore. So the gatekeepers are dead. I believe that, which means that it is on all of our shoulders as individuals to cut through and make the biggest impact on our own that we're capable of. And I think that's the biggest challenge and hurdle is we need to start looking at music this way, where Bryan, if I want you to hear my music, I need to come to you and play my music. If you're heading to work, I want you to be hearing me play the guitar while you're heading to work. You know what I mean? So we need to get out there. We need to hit the circuit and be working musicians. If we want to get heard, we need to go out there and play for people. That's what we love to do anyway.
Hopefully, I'm playing live. So we'll see why. I guess even during your early years and up until now, I guess, did you ever really do any sort of touring? I don't know if you went to different states or
Uh,
any big
so
festivals.
so busking, like I said, I travel a lot. I bring my guitar and my speaker with me. I've got a backing track to go with it because I want people, like when I perform, I want them to hear what they're going to hear when they pull up Spotify. Well, okay, let's look into this guy. What does he sound like? And okay, he is really good, and I want them to be able to have that memory. So Uh, am I doing the traditional thing of booking shows? No. I'm going out there with my Phoenix Fallen hat, my Phoenix Fallen t-shirt, and I'm playing music for people. And, people will stop, they'll listen. They may ask, how can we hear more? And I now have the power to say, your favorite streaming platform, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, wherever you want it, you can catch Phoenix Falling.
Oh, so now you're not going out there doing covers. I don't know how many people can probably handle doing Wagon Wheel for the millionth time. So
There is power in covers. We're kind of living in the time where all the venues they're hiring the cover bands, the straight cover bands, and that's kind of where the money's at. You want to make money, go play other people's music. Like for all of you musicians, like go play music. Period. That's what we do. I want you to do what you love. If you want to make money at it, get into a band, work the bar circuit, playing covers and stuff like that. Now, for original acts, don't leave covers out because covers are powerful. Like the sound of Phoenix Falling, I've done my best to make it a unique sound, as unique as possible. But to translate that to people who have never heard the music before, I need to play them songs that are familiar to them and so they can understand what this song that they know could sound like in a new way.
that's a very interesting take on it there too. So I guess is there particular cover songs you will always cover? I don't know what your little set list is whenever you do your busking.
I'm pretty open minded. I think right now on the busking set list, I do a version of Melancholy Hill by the Gorillas, uh, Japanese Gum by Her Space Holiday, um, Jesus Doesn't Want Me for Sunbeam.
So definitely new ones there too. You know, the second job I mentioned earlier, working in the family restaurant there. Usually, sometimes we have people who are coming in doing the covers, but they're doing like your classic rock ones. Like I know Bad Company, Shooting Star was one.
Oh, that's a classic.
It is, yeah. So and they never actually do Journey. No one actually ever does Journey. Yeah, maybe they do. Maybe
That's a
some.
tall order.
It is, yeah.
That is a tall order. There are some bands that, let's face it, like they're out of my vocal range. I can't do Queen. Freddie Mercury's right out for me. So those that can absolutely should.
I guess maybe it can also tie with influences here too. But I guess did you some of the bands you mentioned there in terms of who you cover? I guess were they also kind of inspiration for your playstyle, or those guys come a little bit later?
Everybody's kind of inspiration. Everyone you listen to, uh, it affects like I feel about it. It affects me. It'll come through my artistic lens in some way or another. So, yep, they're all influences. If I've heard them, they're an influence.
So I guess how would you, for I guess a new person who's just finding out about you, how would you describe Phoenix Falling to them in terms of the music and sound?
So it is classified in that all-encompassing genre of alternative rock. Uh, Now it is a fusion. So it's alternative rock fused with things like EDM elements, hip hop elements, all of these different influences. Uh, because my biggest influence is actually Sheena Ringo. She's a Japanese artist out of Japan, and she's a fusion artist. So she does genre mashups. Uh, her take, she mashed pop, rock, and swing together, and that was my introduction to her. Was a song just randomly playing some like hard swing with a rock beat. Like it was incredible. Uh, but I followed her career my entire life, and I think that's probably my biggest influence is Sheena Ringo.
Sure, Ringo. That's the first time I heard about her. So, all right, that's pretty cool.
So by chance, if Sheena Ringo is watching this, like just let her know I would love to play with you. That would be a dream come true. Or if you want to come play with me, let's jam.
It's like I'm your biggest fan. So
I am not her biggest fan. I am a fan though.
we don't go that hardcore. So it probably gets taken there too.
I'm sure there are people that are absolutely nuts for Sheena Ringo, but I have a weird like view on celebrity. They're people. So Sheena, you're a musician. Like, let's jam. Let's do this.
Hopefully someday she sees us here too. So shit, give it this guy right here too. He's kicking some major ass out there. So all right. And I guess for the last question before we jump to some extra fun ones, it delves into AI and social media. So I know you kind of touched a little bit on social media these days, especially when it came to the gatekeepers and all that sort of stuff. But what do you make of AI and social media these days? A little bit of double edged sword.
So this is a tough one, and you know it's a tough one. Uh, so when AI first dropped, uh, we all have to acknowledge it's a new technology. AI's here. There's no escaping it. We're stuck with it. Um, and I utilized it a little bit in some of my YouTube music videos to help bring my dream to life with minimal budget. And so I did utilize AI for the visuals and stuff like that. I feel it's a tool. I'm a musician. I'm kind of a purist musician. When I record something, I want people to know that I was playing it or created it somehow. I want them to know I built it. Um, but AI is here to stay, and AI is only going to develop and get better. And I think the next thing that we're looking at is instead of the brilliant guitarist, I think we're going to have a bunch of producers with a vision that will be enabled to have full encompassing entertainment, audio, visual. I think that AI is here to make that a reality and to see the individual's dreams.
It feels like kind of, at least in terms of like what people are describing, it seems like there's a little dip in all creativity, especially when you see like from the musician side. I guess in your personal opinion, do you think there might be a nice rise back again at some point where people want to go out, see more shows, people get more creative, pick up an instrument?
You know, I believe so because uh, I have to hand it to artists like Ren and Youngblood. They're actually going out, they're getting heard. People know who they are, and they're encouraging the next generation and their generation to pick up a guitar and play guitar because AI isn't real. And let's make some things that are real. I believe that's what the next steps of our evolution is going to be.
And Mayor speaking there too. So, all right.
Or maybe I'm a dreamer and I'm just hoping, but I really, really believe that. So pick up a guitar, get your jam on, find some people, play with some folks.
Well, I also bring this up too in my interviews, the whole thing with the Terminator, especially with thinking that James Cameron was apparently a prophet of his 1982 Terminator and all that. So it's like, please don't let that happen right there too, because it's one of those things like you really do not want that to happen. So
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for now, future vision of Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator style. Please nap on that one for a bit.
just don't wait till after we're gone. That whole deal. So,
No, absolutely. Like somebody else can pick up that mess.
oh yeah.
Unless they travel back in time and I happen to know the random John Connor, and then I'm screwed.
Oh my God, it's him. So deal. So yeah.
That's right.
So yeah.
Lucky me.
I guess so. All right. But tread carefully, good soldier. So, uh, as I do have to ask, guys, your music, is it all DIY or if you've kind of asked producers in your neck of the woods to help out?
So the songwriting, they're all my songs, except for the covers that I've been releasing. I've released two recently. One coming out tomorrow with Sonia Hutchinson of Crow Silver. Uh, but I play the guitar, the bass. Uh, I do program the drums. I had an electronic drum set, but it got stolen out of the garage, sadly. So that's what led me to seeking out Brooks Ferris to help me out with a couple of my songs. And I've got a Yamaha piano, just an upright over here. So I mean, I record it, I play it, I record it, or I program it. Um, Now, getting other people involved, John Heenan of the band Dead Perspective, he did help me out with mixes for the songs Fallout and for Lose Control. And Juan Siu out of Mexico uh, did the mixing and mastering for You May Know. Beyond that, I've done all of the mixing and mastering except for the song coming out tomorrow, where Hobbs actually did the mixing and mastering for that one. And that dude is a phenomenal engineer. Phenomenal. It's incredible what he can do.
That's for sure. And people, when you get to this point in the interview, let's get an RIP for the electronic drum set. So I was so taken at the wrong time.
No, so that pedal
So
I showed you earlier, this guy, I was so excited about this guy because as my little like poor self without a guitar in the world, it has a little drum thing, so I can hit a button and it'll go. And I loved it. I'm like, oh, I can rock to this, and that's what I did my MySpace demos with, was that little loop drum.
that's definitely clever. So uh, I was trying to think maybe it's something in terms of shout outs there too, but we'll give a shout out to everyone that's contributed in a way to your music there too, with mixing and mastering. And we gave Brooks one a shout out there kind of earlier. So
Well, he did such a phenomenal. That dude is such a phenomenal drummer. Like, hats off to you, Brooks Ferris. Good luck when whatever you do from here.
absolutely. All right. So Nick, we have basically the questions here pretty good. So let's jump into some extra fun ones. Ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. So I'm not sure if there's a particular dish in Fort Collins I haven't heard about yet, but do you have a particular favorite dish?
In Fort Collins?
Well, I guess even in general, but even in Fort Collins, is there a particular dish I haven't heard about?
Well, okay. So if you come to Colorado, anybody, definitely check out the green chili. That's where it's at. It's really hard to find elsewhere. Like really hard. Like I went to Florida and like people called it green. It's not green chili. Y'all are liars. Green chili is in Colorado, and that was the number one thing I was looking forward to coming back to Colorado from Florida on this trip.
Yeah, apparently Colorado boasts about that, to be honest, too. I think Texas tried to say they were trying to make their own green chili. They might say something about barbecue. I don't know.
No,
But
Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, other than that, they're probably just lying to you. They're probably just trying to like pass off some green sauce,
something. But
which
I
happened to me in Mississippi, and I'm still angry about that Mississippi.
want to burn this place to the ground now for vengeance. So
It's too damp there. It's basically a swamp.
I guess so. Yeah,
It had already had its vengeance. It's Mississippi. I'm
I
just
guess so.
kidding.
All right. But all good choices there nonetheless. I guess in terms of movies and TV shows, I guess between the two categories, do you got a particular favorite between them?
Oof. Man, that's tough. Like I have several favorite movies, but I think for today I'm going to go with The Princess Bride for favorite movie. Uh, it's got everything that you could ever hope to have in a story. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Like seriously. Why haven't you seen it yet? If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Fencing, fighting, revenge.
I don't know. Yeah. So I always forget the guy's name. I know he's got like the funny Spanish accent going on there too.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You
Diego
killed my
Montoya.
father.
Prepare to die. Actually, I thought it was fun. I was like, I hate when you use that word. I don't think you know what that word means.
Which I'm kind of like in the background working on a song. Father, I crave violence. So it's going to be a nod to Princess Bride. That'll come out someday,
Eventually. All right.
eventually.
Do you not get into any TV shows, or is it just more strictly movies
Oh,
for you?
TV shows. Favorite TV shows. Yeah, I'm going to go with the solid recommendation of 6 Feet Under. Absolutely brilliant. It's comical. It's dark. I think if Phoenix Falling music had a home, it should probably belong in that show somewhere. So I'm going to go with 6 Feet Under. That's a completed series that was absolutely brilliant from beginning to end.
You know, I see it too. And the thing is, it pops up when I'm actually looking up a death metal band that goes by 6 Feet Under as well. So I see it there too. So, or it's probably more of a soundtrack. I don't know, but
And if they haven't seen that show, they should absolutely see that show because it's a fantastic show. Just like I should listen to their music when we're done with this interview, which I absolutely will.
all right, sounds good. Not sure if you drink, but if you do you have a favorite alcoholic drink? And then what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
So I was in the Navy, and the drink that there were several that came along, but my favorite hard drink. So you got Crown Vanilla and Pepsi mixed together. Tastes basically like a Pepsi float. It's incredible, and it's dangerous. Uh, I think for non-alcoholic, once a year, I promise myself I have to get myself a strawberry malt. So I have my one strawberry malt that I promise myself every year. Oh, and coffee. Oh God, I'm so addicted to coffee. It's actually not okay. Like in all forms, canned coffee, coffee. I love it all.
Now, I want it all in terms of coffee. So yeah,
Speaking of which, I'll be right back.
okay. You got the coffee mug and everything now.
That's right.
So
Well, and I got my anchors to show, and
shop the Navy. So yeah,
I did design a new travel mug. It's available on Phoenix Fallen on the fourth wall. So I'm going to be picking that up pretty soon, which anybody can pick up any of my gear stuffs off that website. I may be a musician. I came to terms a long time ago. I'm not going to make money as a musician. Um, I feel that I'm good at what I do, but I sell t-shirts and hats. So please buy my t-shirts and hats.
we got to do something to leave the lights on. So yeah, and that's actually I think maybe that could fit in with challenges here too. Like you mainly have to be now your own little clothing store at this point.
Well, we're
So
kind of music conglomerates. We got to do it all ourselves.
unfortunately, so I guess real quick, in terms of the Phoenix on your head right there too. I guess did someone make that a while back, or I wasn't sure if it was also part of AI.
Nope, that's my design. I came up with that back in 2005-ish. It was going to be for a my coat of arms for the Society of Creative Anachronism. Uh, so that would have been like my primary display on my device. If I had a shield, I wanted a phoenix, knowing that if you knock me down, I'm coming right back up at you.
That's kind of clever. So yeah, I can see it now in terms of how it can also form like a shield too. So
Absolutely.
all right,
Uh, because I'm all about taking images and like fostering and developing community and trying to unite people under these images. It may happen, may not. Who knows? But if you want to wear the hat, I have that on sale too.
it's like either way, I win. So hey, it's all pretty cool. And for last fun questions, I think I had mentioned about in terms of inspiration, maybe influences you too. But I guess who you've been listening to recently in terms of music, regardless of their indie or mainstream.
What's hit me recently? Mostly Blue came out with a song called "The Great Catastrophe." Absolutely brilliant. Rising Fall. When I heard them, I fell in love with them. I went to Punk in the Corn, the independent music festival that happened in Davenport, Iowa last year. Uh, they are equally as good live as they are performing on the record. So if you want the true experience, go see them live. But if you want to know what they sound like, just listen to the music. It's incredible. Flying Beats. There are so many out there, aren't there? It's
Do
I
tell.
can't name them all. I want to. Joe Boo being the powerhouse of the independent industry. He collabs with more people than I even know how to comprehend at this point. Uh, also, the nicest guy you'd ever meet. Uh, but I mean, that's what I've been listening to. I've been listening to us. Grunge Tree. Need to give Grunge Tree a shout out because they are infectious. They have a song specifically called That Wave that should be resonating through the independent music community. Uh, it is country grunge. Uh, so it's a lot of fun to listen to and really deep, heartfelt lyrics.
I got to check out some of the groups, but I did interview Rise and Fall, and I know you mentioned Tension Splash earlier, so we did get Gray on here at one point. So
And actually, shout out to Tension Splash. So I was sitting there as an independent musician trying to introduce myself to the community, and Tension Splash put "Fu Teddy" as on their 10 reasons why, and I'm like, dude, thank you so much. Like, because that song was instantly just getting rejected by everyone, which was kind of the design of it. They're like, I was expecting a world of no, but to have somebody like Tension Splash come along and say, but it's a good song. That's why we're playing it. Like, guys, thank you so much. You are actually the number one reason why I'm still here and putting out music and talking with everybody. So, Tension Splash, much love to y'all.
I'll say it's Gray because he was the only one I interviewed. So I want to say it was his idea, but it might have been somebody else. So good on you, Tension Splash. Thank you for helping this guy out here too. So, all right. So, Nick, we're down to one more question on my podcast, but I guess before we jump into it, would you like to ask me anything real quick?
Well, we already decided what we're going to talk about. So I think we have a budding collaboration that's going to be in the works in the future. Uh, and it was not going to be time dependent, so that way you have as much time as you need to work on it. Uh, but I guess the question would be, would you like to do a collaboration with Phoenix Falling?
Would love to. I would say I got Superposition right now who reached out to me and I actually did a song with them. I got finished drums on that. And one of my projects, Nocturnal Monarch, we decided instead of just doing a simple EP, which is probably going to be like 4 or 5, to like now we're jumping into 7. So
Good. Hell yeah.
hey. And recent member, I found out Peter Lancelotti. He also reached out to me.
Oh,
It
I
seems
love
like
that guy.
he's eager to get me to do some drumming on his. So
Good. He actually has a phenomenal voice. It's incredible. And if people haven't gotten a chance to listen to it, I would say it's a little avant-garde, very artistic, but definitely check it out because there is some brilliance behind that man right there.
I did interview him. So very interesting character, but super nice guy. So all right. I'll let you know when that interview is out there too if you want to check it out at some point.
I'm
So,
looking forward to it. I make sure, like I do my best to follow you, Brian. So when I see that link come through, I'll definitely check it out.
all right. Sounds good. Was there anything else?
You said you had one more question for me, but you wanted to know if I had any questions for you before we wrapped up.
Oh,
Was
yeah.
that the question, or did you actually have another question?
I do have another question. So it's always like, all right, I open the floor with you. Otherwise, we could jump right to the final question of what I said over to you, the whole list of questions. So it's kind of a chance to at least speak, and so we could get more conversation on this case. So that's really why I ask it too.
Sure.
But was there anything else, or it's okay? I actually jump into the legit last question.
No, I'm ready. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and jump into it.
All right. So here's how it goes. It's gonna probably get a little deep here too, but here's how it goes. All right. So, given the amount of negativity you've been seeing going on in the world these days, not sure how much you watch in terms of the news or what you've been seeing in the social media world. These days, I feel like people need some sort of hope. So, the question is, what would be your message of hope for musicians and people out there so they could try to move forward with their lives?
See, that is pretty heavy right there, and it's instantly making me regret throwing out the questions and not looking at them. Uh, I would love to be able to give you all some hope, but I can't. I think that the most realistic thing I can say is to learn everything from everyone. Go out there, get your jam on, play music, just have fun. Do what you love. Just have fun. Get to know people. Play your music. I don't actually have a message of hope for you, but just go play. Do what you love. I'm looking forward to hearing your music.
Spoken like a true prodigy. So, all right. And that's a little heavy there too. Sometimes a little bit tough, but it's always best to get people to kind of speak their 2 cents and sometimes therapy too. I know we talked about therapy earlier. So, so
Therapy is a very healthy way to do it, and there's a lot of different ways you can find healing. Music's one of them.
that's for sure. All right. But I think we have reached the end of my podcast right here. We talked a little over an hour, but I guess before we close out, want to give any shout outs to anybody? I know we gave a couple earlier.
Well, I've been doing my best to keep my shout outs going throughout the show. Um, but Bryan, thank you for staying up. It's got to be close to 11 for you right now. So thank you for staying up with me this evening. Uh, the YouTube community of the Community Pulse, I want to give a shout out to Pete Johns, Thomas Christ, Jade Star, Frank Turzo, and Mr. Folkpunk. They are a pretty core heart of the YouTube indie community. And if you haven't seen their shows, Community Pulse, You Rock TV, definitely go check them out. I met a lot of people through those shows, and special thing goes to Rob Bennett of the Vibe Vault. He's been in my corner cheering me on from the very beginning. So thank you, Rob, and the folks at the Vibe Vault as well.
Sounds good. And lastly, can you just mention to the audience what social media and streaming platforms you're on so I can check your music out and interact with you?
I'm not on Twitter at this time. Unfortunately, I'm not like old enough. Like, if you see my hair, like kind of graying a little bit. So Twitter is a technology that I have not learned yet. But I am on like SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. I have videos that I put out on YouTube, as well as the recast of the Underground Signal. I do a live version of that now. But if you want some radio to listen on to, I have a show sitting there waiting for you. You can just turn on, and introduce yourselves to some new favorite artists and favorite new music.
Sounds good. And I know you mentioned, I guess your newest episode is going to premiere in June. What day was that?
So May 8th is the release, which is tomorrow. We're getting ready for Mother's Day here in the States. We did a cover of The Night We Met. It's a Lord Huron song featuring Sonia Hutchinson of Crow Silver, who's based out of the UK. And then the Underground Signal will be back in June, where we have a feature of. I'm handing the microphone to Tension Splash. They're going to take over the show and introduce us to a couple of their friends. I'm really looking forward to what they send in. And then Atlas Slip will be closing that show in June. Here, let me grab that date real quick. So on June 7th, uh, it will be being broadcast on 101.5 FM, the WLCB out of Slade's Corner, Wisconsin, which can be streamed at lakesradio.org. Just hit play in the top of the webpage there to tune on into that station. And then on the following Monday, the 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern, I will be on live on YouTube doing the show live so you can interact with me. Our artists uh, typically swing by. So if you want to chat with the artists and hang out, have any questions for me, feel free to join me live and I'd be happy to talk to you.
I'd say I could try to join it, but we'll see what happens. It depends on my work schedule. But
Well, if it doesn't work out, I mean, it's saved on YouTube. It's there waiting for you. And definitely, if you got music to send in, theundergroundsignal@gmail.com. I'd love to play your music.
all right, heard from this guy right here too, and I'll keep that in mind there too. But I have to close out like this real quick, Nick. So, everyone, my guest today was Nick Fenix, aka Phoenix Falling, hailing from Colorado, or Collins, Colorado to be more exact. So, first off, we salute you. Especially
And
for your
King
research.
Ern, thank you for introducing me to this guy. Hey, yeah, take care.
I was trying to remember how that actually worked out. I wasn't sure if you commented or whether they gave you a shout out, but I know that was definitely a fun interview with
Oh, a
those
little
guys.
bit of both. We talk a lot. Figo is such a great dude, and I love the new stuff they've been doing. But I was able to catch the show live and was chatting along with everybody for the live show of that one.
Now, if only can get a damn hobby. So,
Right. Well, drinking is a hobby. We heard it from Figo, so cheers.
so says Figo. All right. But nonetheless, go support him on all socials, all streaming platforms. Let's keep our brother out there. And keep supporting him there too. And if you see a busket out there, give this guy $1 there too for what he does. So, all right. So, Nick, thank you again.
Bartenders,
And that too.
waitresses.
That too. They are busting their butts out there too. So, all right. But Nick, you do stay safe because you know there's one pretty messed up world out there. Rock on. And lastly, strike a pose. Stay tuned, Neil.